Hi, I'm Pete Sanderson, owner of Perseverance 2, and this is my crew. This is my son Jack Sanderson, and then we've got Chief First Mate James Gladstone, we've got Sam Emerson, and then we've got Deanie Barber. Yeah, well, my childhood was spent waiting for my dad to come home from his week away at sea on the lining boats or on the trawlers, and he'd come home with what's called a fry, maybe a cod of about 4 or 5 foot long, or a yard long lobster. He once fetched one home that weighed 14 pounds, and I can remember laying down next to it and it was the same length as me, a yard long. That's an early memory. Well, I started fishing in the early 90s. All my friends had a paper round. I used to go salmoning with my dad. I used to go before and after school, and that was a traditional form of fishing. And we've sort of progressed into shellfish industry, and I would imagine that I've got ancestors in the past that have been in the shellfish industry, but I know for a fact that they were long lining, they were netting, trawling. Our family were in the sailing boats, and we can trace it back maybe 300 or 400 years. I think we came down originally from Whitby or Staithes, and I think we followed the fish down the coast and eventually settled in Bridlington. There's a couple of graves up at the local grave site here in Bridlington of some ancestors of mine, Ralph and Abraham Sanderson. They were actually lost, unfortunately, in a fishing cobble off Barmston, 6 miles south of where we are now. And they left quite a large family. They were young fellas, and they had young wives and young children, and they were actually destitute, but the town folk and some of them are better off people in the town, they all clubbed together, and I believe they had a 7-carriage funeral procession in the end. We found a bit of evidence of a young captain cook working for a guy called William Sanderson in Whitby before he went out on the Endeavour and found Australia. We believe that this William Sanderson was an ancestor of ours. Doing modern potting these days, we're working crab pots and lobster pots, and currently we have an irrigation system so that we can keep the catch in like pristine condition. What we try to do is we try to get them aboard, and we keep them on the deck for as little time as possible. They go straight into holding bins with an irrigation system, so that after we've touched them and we've handled them, they're then back in the water, perfect temperatures, and they're fetched in, they go straight ashore, and then they're ready directly for distribution to the consumer. And it was just a natural progression really, but things have changed so much. You know, we started off in a 26-foot wooden cobble. That's when I started off. My dad had been fishing a long time before then, and so had his father before him. But things have changed so much. We were all trawling, and now here we are doing static, sustainable fishing. It's very nice to know that there's a future in the industry for my children and hopefully their children as well.